I'm Gianna. I'm a senior history and theology major at Catholic University, and I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. I first started to think about religious life when I was very little. My parents told me that when I was about 4 years old, I wanted to be a nun because I was very obsessed with St. Therese, and she was a nun, and so I wanted to be just like her. But I didn't really seriously discern until coming to college. I had a few moments during high school where the thought kind of popped into my mind and I pushed it away because that wasn't what I wanted. And I had a moment where I was just very honest with Jesus, and I said, if you want me to discern this seriously, then you have to put that desire in my heart, because it wasn't there naturally. And I started to see the effects of that once I was in school. So I've gotten a chance to know the sisters from the Order of Pro Ecclesia Sancta because they are at my home parish. And one of the sisters, Sister Emmy, I got the chance to talk to a few years ago when I was staying with them at their convent. And she gave me some really good advice about how to discern the religious life. And she kind of explained that if you're a young woman who's considering religious life, then you should go about it in the same way that you would go about discerning any type of relationship. So you have to get to know the person first before you decide whether or not you want to marry them. And that's the same thing for Jesus. So she recommended growing in your daily prayer life, learning how to talk to Jesus in a more familiar way, and also just learning about him through the scriptures, through theology. And I really took that to heart, and it gave me a lot of peace about finding out what my vocation is, because the more that I know Jesus and the more that he is able to reach my heart, the easier it's going to be for me to follow him wherever he tries to put me. Last spring, one of my friends and I decided to go visit the Sisters of Life because they have a house that's very close to campus, and it was actually their day of prayer. So we then went and visited the Servidoras afterwards, which is an order that we had briefly heard about during a celebration of religious life that happened at CUA. But we knocked on their door and just wanted to meet them. And then it turned out that they actually had a come and see happening that night. So we decided to stay for the weekend, and we got to learn about their charism and their way of life. And just seeing their joy and their mission was so beautiful. And that was a moment that I really decided to kind of discern in a more serious way. When I first heard the word vocation, I had it explained to me when I was in high school, and I always kind of viewed it as this goal that you were trying to reach. Once you got to a certain part in your young adult life, you would either decide to get married or decide to become religious, and it's just kind of something that you waited for. And what very wise people have told me, and what I've come to realize myself, is that vocation is something that's happening right now, which is not a new idea. St. Therese, for example, says that her vocation is to love, and that's something that you can do at any time of life, and especially in the current moment. And so I think there's a big pressure on young people today to figure out their vocation, as in what they're going to be doing, if it's marriage or if it's religious life. But there's less of an emphasis on how you can live out your vocation as a student or as a friend or as a sibling, as a daughter, as a son. And so, yeah, just having the freedom to be able to think about what your vocation is in the current moment is something that's given me a lot of peace. I think the most attractive things to me about religious life are the community and the prayer life, because I'm someone who does not have a lot of discipline to pray on my own. But when I'm able to do liturgy of the hours, when I'm able to pray the rosary in community, it becomes so much more fruitful, because there's not only the aspect of getting to spend that time with God, but also having the quality time with other people as you all run to Christ together. And so what I've experienced through religious life is sisters have this really unmitigated joy where they're just overflowing with it all the time. And I think that makes a lot of sense when you've fully committed your heart to something that you know you're called to, and you have the chance to live that out with other people. It's such a beautiful way to live as a woman and to display motherhood as well. I think, yeah, some of the best mothers that I've seen are spiritual mothers who have this care not only for specific children, but for everyone as a child of God. And their ability to live that out together is just really beautiful. I think since starting to discern religious life, I've grown a lot in my confidence in prayer and in talking to Jesus, and also just in boldness, because what I realized about vocation is that it is built on the desires of your heart, and it's a very inherent, natural thing to each person. And so when I began to discern more seriously, try to figure out what God's plan is for me right now and also later in life, I realized that asking him just to reveal that plan in his own time is kind of a scary thing to do, because you don't know what his answer is going to be, and you also don't know if he's going to answer in the way that you want at the time that you want. But just having the confidence to continually bring it to prayer if you have anxiety about it, or if there's a decision you need to make in the moment. So just growing in my ability to ask him for that straight out. I think some of the best advice that I've gotten about discerning is from a priest who was giving a talk that I went to this summer. And he explained that discernment is a very natural process. It's not something that you necessarily have to seek out. It's something that will come naturally if you're in tune with the Lord and if you're used to listening to his voice. And it does come from natural desires. And so you don't have to figure out what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life, but if you listen to what God wants you to do in this moment and then make a step, then from there will be another natural step. And if you continue to listen and continue to follow in that natural succession, then eventually you'll realize maybe what God is calling you to in the long run. So it's not about trying to decipher some puzzle about what you're meant to do. God is a God of clarity. He is not trying to confuse you. So you just have to listen to what he wants in the moment, because that's all you need to know.